you are very much a proponent of taking the bull by the horns, even if you are an introvert, because a lot of times the extroverts do the squeaky wheel.
Yeah, gets the oil.
Gets the oil, right?
That's right, exactly right. I think it's important for introverts to know that we can be successful in business, in sales, in our careers and in our lives.
Okay.
A lot of times we just convince ourselves we can't because we don't have that gift of the gab, right?
Sure.
So a lot of times we're perceived as that person that hides in the corner and doesn't do anything that's quite actively out there.
Right.
There are so many people that are introverts that are just killing it out in the real world, and everybody just projects, oh, they must be extroverted. That's why they're successful, and it's just not true.
That's not the case necessarily.
Well, I always get confused about what actually is an introvert and an extrovert, because here's what I mean by this. The people in our position, we are very outgoing when that light is on. Yeah. And when that light goes off and we leave, we don't like to talk to anyone.
Right.
Like, we're not outgoing in public.
Yeah.
Does that make us introverted, or just makes us, I guess, different or privileged? Or, I don't know.
Well, it's interesting. So the way I define it, and I think this is there's so many studies out there, but the way I define it is, it's where you draw your energy. For instance, I'll go on stage and people say, there's no way you're introverted. I'll go to a networking event, people say the same. But when I'm done, I want to go into a dark room and do nothing.
Yes.
On the flip side, my good friend Jim Cathcart, who's the #1 most award-winning speaker in the world, he's actually a Californian local, and he wants to go out and he wants to see the town, he wants to run around. I can't think of anything worse.
I know.
And that's the real difference, I think. It's where you draw your energy. Do you want to be around people? Do you get your energy from that? Or do you get your energy from being at home quiet by yourself?
Well, and you also say that success does not necessarily mean that you have to be this outgoing, you know, loud person. You can actually be inside your shell, but you say that a lot of times you have to decide whether or not you want to do it now. Stop saying that you're going to do it someday. Do it now.
Well, introverts constantly put off, oh, I'm going to do it. I could do it, but I just don't want to right now.
Yeah.
That's us having a negative self-talk that's telling us not to take action.
Okay.
I mean, let's face it, I'm from Australia, so we don't ski a lot. So the first time I tried to ski, it was painful. I fell down a lot. It was uncomfortable, but then I learned how to ski. It's the same thing with networking. It's the same thing with sales. We can always put it off and say, we'll do it later.
Sure.
But introverts need to realize that it's not one of these gift of the gab abilities. It's a natural system. And as long as they learn that system, then they can not only match an extrovert at their capabilities, a lot of times they can beat them hands down because, I mean, just look at the manufacturing industry. If you have a system and a process, a lot of times you deliver predictable results that are higher than people just doing it off the cuff, which is what extroverts have been so great at.